Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm just gonna have a little bit of a chat because I am continuing my never-ending quest to figure out something that works for my brain to help me manage life and manage symptoms of ADHD. If you watched my last video about this, you'll know that I was kind of debating and agonizing over whether or not I should start medication again. And ultimately, I did end up speaking to my psychiatrist and I did start medication again. So if you're watching this will probably be coming out after I've been on it for about a week. And it's a long process. So I thought I'd just talk with you guys about how I'm feeling, getting cozy, and yeah, letting you know the symptoms that I've been having. So the medication that I'm on at the moment, I'm again starting the titration process because I've been off the ADHD medication for about 6 months because I had a surgery and I had to come off it for that. I'm starting on Concerta. I'm starting on this, the 18 milligram version, which lasts about 8 hours, and that's just a lighter dose so that I can ease into it. And my psychiatrist has recommended that I be on the 36 milligram dose, and then has given me extra supplemental like 10 milligram shorter acting medication in case I need that. And with all of this happening, with all of the chats I've been having with my psychiatrist, I am nervous and I am struggling with the whole idea of being on medication again. I don't know why I am. It's a ridiculous thing. Like, if you need help, which I do because I'm not getting what I need to done, then absolutely you need medication. I don't know why I'm feeling like a deep sense of shame around the fact that I need the extra help to get things done. I've been speaking about this a lot and I've been kind of talking through it and just feeling my feelings about it. Just like letting that shame wash over me because it's not serving me, right? And I'm feeling better about the decision. As with starting any new medication, there's definitely going to be an adjustment period, and this week has been interesting. So I just thought I'd talk you through it and let you know what kind of symptoms I've been experiencing. The last time I was on Concerta, the first time I tried it, I had really bad headaches. I'm still getting those a little bit, but it's more so when the medication wears off after about 8 hours of use, then my head is starting to kind of like pound. I think it's to do with how much I'm eating, because I have noticed a loss in my appetite. So I've been trying to eat 2 meals a day. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not a lot because I was eating like 4 or 5 meals a day before the medication. But the 2 meals are kind of all I'm able to manage at the moment because I'm really not feeling hungry. And that is a huge problem. I say problem because when you don't eat enough on medication, on ADHD medication, what I've noticed is that that's when a lot of the symptoms seem to become worse. So things like headaches or your head being a little bit foggy, or in my case, I've noticed if I have this Concerta on a empty stomach, then I get really nauseous. You have to eat more, even if you're not hungry, because that mitigates all of those symptoms. At least in my experience, that's what I've noticed. And I'm definitely noticing this is a bit of a problem because the other day, yesterday actually, I went to the gym and I just had a shocker of a time. I noticed I was getting really hot, which is another one of the symptoms that I noticed when I'm on ADHD medication. And it started to make me feel quite anxious. I could feel my heart rate was increasing a lot because your blood pressure and your heart rate does tend to go up because it's a stimulant medication. And I guess that reminded my body of like a panic attack. So I started to feel really nauseous. I actually had to stop and sit in the gym and just pause for a few minutes and just kind of let all of this happen to my body. I felt like I was gonna have a panic attack in the gym, or maybe even like chunder, and that is not something that's happened to me before. But I felt better after a few minutes. I think because the medication does mess with your blood pressure, or it has in mine, in that it makes it go up a little bit, or I've noticed more dramatic changes. So like if I sit down on the ground too long and then I stand up, then I get really dizzy. Whereas when I'm not on the medication, I don't notice that as much. So I think it was a combination of all of those things, and it was just a bit scary. I was there with Callum, I was safe. I was able to take my time and just sit down. I was working out by myself like there was no pressure on me to do anything. It is just a little bit disheartening when you're trying to find something that helps your brain work a little bit better, and then it comes with like this barrage of symptoms that don't make you feel your best. So that was something that I noticed. I've also been speaking to some of my other friends who have ADHD about medication, and they kind of believe that it might be a little bit of a placebo effect, that you're more productive on it. And I think I can kind of get what they're saying. In my experience, I do feel more productive when I'm on ADHD medication, but I can equally have days where I don't do anything or I don't get as much stuff done as I need to. So it's kind of like, it's pretty balanced in that respect. But what I think the biggest difference is in terms of accomplishing things or getting things done is that when I'm on medication, I feel accomplished. I feel like I have that reward of having done something. When I'm not on medication, if I do 100 things in a day, I could still end the day and be like, wow, I really didn't do anything. Like, I have no sense of reward or no sense of achievement in my mind. Whereas when I'm on ADHD medication, even if I do 1 or 2 things a day, let's be generous and say 2 things, then even with those 2 things done, my brain is like, good job, you smashed it. And I think that's where it becomes easier to do more things because you're left with that feeling of accomplishment. And that's something I didn't notice as much the first time I was on ADHD medication. I don't know if maybe it's because I'm just super ADHD and I figured out how to game the system and not get anything done either way. But I think as with anything, the medication isn't a magic pill. It's not going to fix all of your problems. So if initiating tasks and managing time is something that you struggle with, that's not going to magically go away when you're on the ADHD medication, which I am learning. But it does leave me feeling a little bit more successful in myself. Maybe that's because it's affecting the dopamine circuits or whatever is going on in there, but there's that. I've noticed a little bit that my anxiety has crept up a bit, but I think that's more to do with the elevation in my heart rate and resting heart rate, just as my body adjusts to being on a stimulant, because I think my body's quite sensitive to any kind of change internally, and so I'm very hyper aware of that, whereas other people might not be. Let me know down below if that's something that you've experienced or something you've noticed while being on ADHD medication. I also do notice there is less impulsivity. Granted, it's been a week and I'm on a pretty low dose, so my body's still adjusting to everything, but the emotional reactivity is way less. Like, if somebody annoys me, in my nature, I believe it's my, like, I just react and I just say what comes out of my mouth or what comes out of my brain. Just brrr, that's my response. I don't really think about it too much. Whereas on medication, I do feel, and I've said this before in my other videos, I feel like I'm gifted that ability to pause, think, and then respond. And that extra second really is helpful. I feel like another thing that I've noticed is that things are just a little bit quieter. That can be good or bad. I know that in my other video, I spoke about that and a lot of people were like, yeah, but I like the voices in my head. And if that's you, that's fantastic. I want you to like those voices. Like, I want you to enjoy being in your brain. That's the goal of life, right? But for me, I feel like just getting rid of some of that background noise allows me to actually think a little bit more and process and do what I want to do, which is nice. And I say it to you guys, but it's really important to give yourself grace when you're trying a new medication, a new anything. Particularly a mental health medication though, because it does come with shame. It does come with a lot of nerves because there are side effects. There's nothing that's perfect that's just gonna work like that and then you're gonna live the life that you want to live, right? Everything takes a bit of an adjustment time. And so I wanted to make this video to let you guys know, if you're going through any of this, that you're not alone, but also just for myself so that I can look back on this and be like, okay, there were some good things, there were some bad things. And if I ever have to come off medication again, at least I'm a bit more aware of the process. I'm able to talk things through and I know that I'll be okay. Because it is scary. It's really scary. And so I want to honor that. I want you to honor that. I want you to acknowledge how you're feeling, feel those things, and I hope you have somebody to talk to. If not, leave comments down below letting us know how you feel, because it's intimidating. For me personally, I think the moral of this story is that even though there are going to be rough bits, I do think that I'm getting more benefits from this than not. And I'm going to stick it through these weird kind of symptoms. I'm going to push through and I will update you guys once I'm on the 36 milligram dose. I just wanted to let you know that that's what's been happening. If this video comes out later than usual, this is why, because I'm busy adjusting my brain to this new stimulant. I just need to give myself a bit of space and a bit of time to figure things out, get back into my groove, and stop beating myself up for not having a brain that works the same as everybody else. And I hope you guys do the same. If you're starting out your medication journey, I hope you know that you are wonderful, you are loved, and you deserve to find a treatment that works for you. I passionately believe that. So give yourself time, give yourself space, and take care of yourselves, guys. I'll catch you all next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.